welcome to On the Rocks. I'm Jamie Wilson. I'm going to be your host for tonight. And hey, it's great to be back. I know I've been away for a while, and it was nice being back last week with Dong Abay. And tonight we've got a killer band with us, and I can't express how happy I am to have these guys in my show because I would much rather be in the same room with them because maybe that's too much mayhem to broadcast on the internet. But I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are hanging on because things are crazy out there. Prices are going up, and the weather is kind of insanely cold. And things our government are doing. Well, they haven't made much sense in a very long time, but it's getting even crazier. And just when you thought that things couldn't get any crazier, things do. But hey, one way to cope is by, I guess, just going with the flow and listening to good music. Music is always, for me, the best kind of therapy in the world because really it gives you such a variety of emotions that you can actually give voice to. If you're angry, put on some heavy metal. If you're feeling romantic, then put on some love songs. And of course, yes, it is the love month. This invention of the Valentine's month, and it's really a whole month because you spend half the month preparing for Valentine's Day for those of you in relationships, and then you spend the rest of the month trying to pay for it. Really, it's tough out there, but there are some things that make it all worthwhile. Company of friends, the company of your loved ones, and the company of your loved ones right now is really, it's never been more important than it is now during this damn goddamn pandemic. And well, of course, another thing that's keeping me company tonight is guess what? Our friends from Buenos Dias Panaderia just sent me a new treat. Their famous Milo buns have now transformed and morphed into Milo donuts. Now, these are going to be available on February 12th, but hey, they love me. So who's the lucky guy here, right? I'm the lucky guy. And looks like it's time to get hooked on something new. And what's a perfect pairing for these babies? Some premium coffee from our friends from the Misty Mountain Cafe. I'm particularly addicted to their Cordillera Gold and their hazelnut blends. If you want to kickstart your heart, this coffee is for you. And of course, our friends once again from liquor.ph. Hearts Day doesn't always have to be for those who are in love. I mean, if you need a drink and you are feeling particularly lonely, then make sure you grab a bottle of Blackheart spiced rum. This is perfect. This is really perfect. It's a really good drink. It's really smooth. It's an elegantly dark rum, even at 93 proof. Can you imagine that? Perfect for storming the seven seas across the oceans of cheesiness that threatens to overwhelm us during the Valentine's Day. I have no idea what kind of accent's coming out now, but maybe I'm an Irish pirate. Who knows? Now, guys, you can use the promo code 20BlackHeart and get 20% off when you order 2 bottles. And tonight, I am swigging a bottle of this baby right here because this is perfect. Because my guests tonight are the best bunch of pirates anyone can ask for. Seriously, these guys are such heavyweights in the music industry. I have been watching them in their individual bands, in their past bands. I've been hanging out with them. I've had the opportunity to jam with them. And really, for people who produce such a heavy sound, they've got the lightest of hearts. And that's what I love about them primarily. Of course, they're also extremely makulit, and they're also extremely opinionated, and they're also extremely magulo. So, of course, without further ado, let's bring on Tracy Gomez Ortigas, Miguel Ortigas, Cowboy Santos, Johnny Besa, Tirso Ripoll, ladies and gentlemen, Pigdog.
Woo!
Hello.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? We're live.
We're live and loud, baby. Live and loud.
What's up,
Okay, so,
guys?
Yun, there you
Waiting for
go.
that.
There, yeah. Tirso, we need a T-shirt. That's got to be your first T-shirt.
Yeah,
for
di
Big
ba?
Dog.
What's
It's
up,
like, what's up,
bitches?
bitches?
What's up, bitches? It's probably
It's
taken,
perfect.
but I'll take it again.
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing just during this pandemic? How's this pandemic treating you guys? I haven't seen you guys in so long.
Eh,
Puta, yeah,
Eh,
man. Eh,
So
Yeah.
When was
let's
that
start.
last gig in
Been-
19 East? Last year, right?
Yeah,
March?
that was an
No, Feb.
amazing gig.
Yeah.
Feb, right?
last year.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like a weekend before the pandemic was declared, I think, or a couple of
Yeah,
weekends right
yeah.
before.
Almost
But
a
Yeah,
year.
just about.
you know, and
Well,
that was an amazing gig. I don't remember much of the last set, but I went home and I woke up smiling. So it must have been a really good gig.
Solid.
successful night at home. I
Yes,
mean,
I did get
Yeah,
home.
that's
I
exactly a
remember
year
getting
ago.
being
home.
home, that's good, you know.
It's always good when you get home.
No, but like,
So
well, listen, man, like everybody else, every other musician out there, I think I probably safely speak for every musician in the world today, where this sucks ass. We all want to get together and play to the audience
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
have a gig and just rock it out, and we're not able to do that. I mean, doing it together is what it's all about, and that's not
Absolutely.
happened for a year, and that's
Yeah, it's
painful.
all it's
It's awful.
and
yeah, it's all
did
this
you
it's all this phone
did
sex
you
shit, man.
yeah, it's all this like webcam performance, you know what I mean? You feel like you're
Yeah,
in one of
man.
those
What the hell?
dubious chat
Fucking
rooms where
ridiculous.
people are sending you gifs, it's kind of weird,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But have you guys found you guys have found a reason to get together. You guys put in videos. You guys
Yeah.
have been playing as well. And although it's not the same without an audience, man, at
Yeah.
least we get a chance to hear your music. And that is for me, hey, at least I have a chance to have you guys here.
Yeah. No, really, at least there's that. I mean,
At least there's that.
I just think back, imagine if this was 96, 97. We
With
would
like
be,
120
Putang ina.
character limit on your text.
Oh well.
with that. I mean,
The internet was dial up.
imagine, can
Fucking
you
hell.
imagine? Really, if you want to, if there's any time to be thankful for the internet, it's 2020. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
without that,
Yeah.
there would be absolute nothing. So
And
This is true.
we're all scrambling with how did you do that? Do we just get together on Zoom and play together? And then and everybody, we've upped our game a little bit.
yeah.
Pandemic skills now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Tracy, your pandemic skills, like from your very first video edit to your last
Was
one.
that solid, pal?
Solid.
Galing. May mga transitions, may mga effects na.
That's the
Galing,
key
direct.
there.
YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube is the
Totally
key.
agree, man. Totally agree, pal. I've upped my skills in terms of YouTube. Like what I do to pass the time is I play. I find songs that I've always wanted to play, and I sit down and figure them out. So right now I'm at like maybe like 43 songs
Wow.
or something like that.
I
Latest
know.
one is Carry On Wayward Son. I've always wanted to play that, but
Nice.
I got a chance to
Love
play
that
it.
riff, man.
Nice.
You
nice,
gotta
nice.
love YouTube. Of course,
Well,
of course, YouPorn is the second.
Or what?
you porn?
Is the second.
Yeah.
That's,
The moment you type you into your Google browser, it's like, oh, there it
You
is.
porn.
Yeah, but
You-
ibang instructional yon. Ibang instructionals yan. Those are very different tutorial videos.
you can tell a lot about a person based on what comes out when
The
you
browser
type
history.
on your browser. Yeah. You type you, depending on what comes out, you can tell a lot about you, dude.
Do it now. Let's do it
that's-
now.
So
I'm not-
apparently-
I'm not.
so
I'm not letting. I'm not letting my phone near you guys, pal.
Johnny, you
now
hard, you
now
know.
we know what these guys have been up to during the pandemic. All we have to do is check their browsers and checking out different tutorial videos.
Dude,
Okay, so-
I'll bet Pornhub is making a killing now, pal.
Hey man, premium is free. Or so
Oh my
I heard.
God.
They haven't.
Or
They
so I
haven't
heard.
made the vaccine yet. Damn.
They're the ones that have the resources to actually make the vaccine, and like premium is free,
And to
vaccine is free.
Spread it
also.
around.
Okay, guys. All right. So I have to ask, how the hell did Big Dog get together? Because you guys have had individual bands, you guys were playing with other bands, and when the announcement that you guys had a band, and I remember when you guys got together, you didn't even have a name yet, but everybody was abuzz na parang putang na lahat ng mga heavy guts, they got together to form a band. How did this happen, pare?
Well, when Migs and Tracy came back from Australia, I wanted to do something. At that point I was already pretty much decided I was going to leave the Blue Rats. So I called Migs and Tracy and we started talking about who we might get. And Cowboy was in second I asked. Tirso said yes the second I asked. But I wasn't responsible for the name.
Then,
I
then
heard.
wait forever to figure
I know
out.
What?
there were
You.
other options for the name. I heard some of them, and do we want to expound on some of the other names? What was that name you told me, John?
Yeah, it was a twisted girlfriend.
No,
Oh,
no, 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 no.
No,
No,
it
no,
was
no, no,
it was
no,
worse than that.
no. No, first was Lizard in the Bottle. That's the first one we actually agreed on, right?
Correct.
Lizard in the Bottle. But there was another band apparently that was named Lizard in the Bottle. So
Jamie,
Dude, there was
Jamie,
all kinds of bands with all
Yeah,
kinds of names.
dude, this is right. Cowboys got it right. You think of a name of your band, you type it in, and I'm gonna bet
There's-
9 out of 10 times there's a band with that name
There's a band.
in the world.
and whatever we
put
thought
two
of,
random words
Yeah.
together.
Every single
let me
All
say,
right, go
What?
go Miguel.
in Los Angeles, I had a band with Michael Turner and my friend Wayne Lacan Ilaw, and it was called Love and Death. There is
Oh, yeah.
a current band called Love and Death,
yeah.
Mhm.
and also in Sydney, we were called Thunder Love, and now there's a Thor movie called Love and Thunder. It's like,
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
You know, I think these guys have just bugged your internet browsers and are listening to you guys talk, and they're getting ideas from you guys.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
man.
You know what? One funny thing about trying to figure out the band's name. I remember that's whatever name we thought of. Tirso always thought that we should add "of love" at the end of every name. Remember that? Remember that?
Of love.
So the crackpot of love.
Big Head of Love.
Of love.
And did you
Iron
Google?
Handle of love.
And did you Google those also? And did those bands exist?
Yeah, they all
Of
came.
love.
Oh yeah, almost everything we thought of, there was a band that existed.
All. It was
All.
ridiculous.
It was like for weeks and weeks. We went
It
through
went on for a while.
hundreds of band names.
I know.
Yeah, we would toss out 15, 20 band names in a day, and we'd find all of them on the internet.
I mean, we have a little WhatsApp group, and like randomly, I'm at work. It's like 10:30. Cowboy gonna chime in with a name like Reckless Fools. I'm like, hey, sounds good. There's already like 20 bands.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry. And then immediately after that name comes out, somebody sends the link to the band page of an existing band. That went on for weeks, man. It was just like,
Pigdog, though. Pigdog. It's stuck.
Oh, wala.
so we're like, that's the one.
That's the
That's
one.
the one.
You Google it and you
What
come
really
out.
sold me was the fact that Pigdog, when I Googled it, it was like an insult used in a Monty Python movie.
It's fine.
Ah, there you go. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
It was meant
So
to be.
I am.
pare.
Diba? What was that? I am not afraid of you, you English Pigdog.
The French Hunter. Most classic of the Monty Python, from
Yeah,
the whole,
diba?
Okay,
Holy
guys.
Grail.
So
Yeah.
okay, so that's how Big Dog came about. By sheer default, that no other on your Google search, it didn't come out. That has to be one of the most unique answers I've ever gotten on this show. Eh, wala eh. So we stuck with it.
why, Jamie? Because we're conscientious, pare.
Yeah.
We're not gonna. We don't want to ride on another band's name. There's a band in America, a tribute band called Pearl Jam with 2 M's.
Wow.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it's out of
Cease
mind.
and desist.
Come on, right?
Yeah.
That's just
There's a steely,
several cease and desist. Hey,
Brutus, the pig dog.
several season
Dude,
orders.
that dog is our Pigdog. Right there.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at
Hey Brutus, I miss you, boy.
Was that Tracy?
Brutus had pig sounds also.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
right.
would
He
snort.
was making pig sounds.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
dog snorts. So that's why we went with Pigdog. Because we're all dog people.
Yeah, and then when they snort and they bark at the same time.
And
Yeah,
you all
Arf.
snort. And you all snort.
Arf.
that's our battle cry. Snort bark.
Okay, so all right, all right, we understand where Pig Dog now comes from. And okay, so
It was actually Miguel said yeah.
okay, so when you got together and you decided, okay, what are we gonna play? What
That
was
was
first?
It
What was the first names thrown out?
AC/DC immediately. That was an easy
Yeah,
part.
the,
It was
yeah, the
AC/DC and
call.
Black Sabbath pretty quick.
Led Zeppelin.
And Zeppelin, I mean, it was pretty
Yeah, the
easy.
call.
So
I
you
think
can
on that level, that's the easiest part. What are we gonna do? Let's do this. Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the easy part, man. You know.
so the name took much longer, but the
Yeah.
musical direction
Oh, yeah.
was easy.
Yeah.
Fuck
I think
yeah.
at this point, is the name's like a formality. You just gotta have one, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta have something on the marquee.
Gotta
you know?
call yourself
Actually,
something.
we must have had something like 10 songs already prepared before we finally figured out the name.
Exactly.
You
I
know?
mean,
Yeah.
we were even gonna do that free beer. Remember, Jamie, that old
Oh,
joke?
I love that free beer. I love the name free beer.
Several bands called free beer. Look at
No
up.
way. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. Dame, dude.
Pare, that was ours, man. That was ours.
That's what I thought.
I'm telling you, man, they're bugging us, man.
I
They're
know.
listening in on our conversations, these damn bastards. Okay, so collective musical direction was easy, right? I just want to figure out. So let's want to hear from you guys individually, right? What do you remember growing up listening to?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a long story right there. Who has to
For
start?
Johnny.
Johnny, it's a long story, bro.
For
Yeah.
Johnny, it's a long
Fuck, yeah,
story.
especially for me, it's a fucking long story. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, well, I because of my parents, I grew up listening to classical music and Frank Sinatra and Sarah Vaughan and the Glenn Miller Orchestra and things like that.
Yeah.
But first year high school, LaSalle totally corrupted me. So I end up listening to I heard my first Boston album in first year high school, and it was just all downhill from there for me. I started listening to Kiss and the Led Zeppelin 4 album and Mountain and all that. Yeah, so
Cowboy, what about you?
what?
Solid. As early as I
Ooh,
can remember, my
something
dad's
stuttered.
tapes, Deep Purple, Jethro Tull, straight up classic rock stuff. Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix. That's my schooling. And then like outside influence, probably Bob Marley, reggae, Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, stuff like that.
So wait, so Cowboy, you grew up listening to the stuff that we had to discover on our own?
Yeah,
like so
my dad just
unfair.
said, here, listen to this. He had this huge collection, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So there was like King Crimson, all of it, like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and pretty much the whole Woodstock lineup. I really fell in love with that era, and pretty much that was my formative years listening to music.
Galing, man.
Was like late 60s to early 70s, mid 70s, like that.
Have you
That's-
seen Echo in the Canyon?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a really good movie, pare.
Tom Petty's still in there.
He's
Yeah.
he's
It's
still alive.
dedicated to him because I guess it was released posthumously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
The quotes in the
great
can. Gotta write that down.
Yeah, Echo in the Canyon. And
Yeah.
it's funny
Yeah.
with Jacob Dylan hosting it and playing on it.
right?
Yeah.
Parang I want to ask him, okay, what happened to your second album? Because your first album was amazing, but your second album sucked. So now you're hosting a show? What's going
Yeah.
on?
No, and then you know what? Bob's not in it, which I wondered. But I guess Bob was
Yeah.
not from New York. He was an East Coast guy, right? He wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
He wasn't from that area.
Wasn't in
He was
Laurel
New York.
Canyon.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
Laurel.
New York. Eh. Laurel. Laurel.
Laurel. Laurel.
What about you, Tirso? Tirso, what did you grow up listening to?
Man, I had the Kiss lunchbox, dude. In
Ah,
50.
Yo.
You know what?
Damn.
Well, look, I had an older brother that liked the rock and roll. So every day going, I'm grade 3 and going to school, and Kiss and Queen and stuff was playing. Pink Floyd was playing
That's
in the
great.
car. So I just, obviously I took that on, and my brother, he's great, and he had a funny habit where when my mom would say, okay, you and your brother, here's some money, you and your brother go buy something. So he would take me straight to the record store and make me buy the record he wanted. He would buy the record he wanted, then he would make me buy another record, then he would borrow it off me.
Another record that he wanted.
Yeah, so my first record ever purchased with my allowance money was the first Kiss album. And I'm like, okay, I guess it looks okay, kuya. Yeah, you love it. Don't worry about it. It's great. And but yeah, basically it's that the Kiss, Pink Floyd, the Stones, and then I met Migs, and then everything changed, and then it was
Yo.
Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Lemmy.
Yeah.
God, Lemmy. That was it, man.
Yeah.
And then that took everything off to a different tangent. But for a long time, my childhood years was The Wall, which is strange, I guess, and that probably explains my inner turmoil and why I am the way I am. That was basically my childhood, The Wall, right?
Wow.
Thought, yeah. My
Oh,
That would
That's
that
messed
would
up,
ex-
man.
that would explain why you are the way you are, Tirso.
I still wake up. Are there any queers in the theater tonight?
Live
Okay.
against the wall.
Okay, Miguel, let's go to you. What did you grow up listening to?
I would say again, as Tirso did say, Kiss Alive 2 was the
Dude.
record I saw at the record store that I told my father, that's the one you have to buy me.
That's
It
the
had-
worst album cover.
Oh my god.
Coming down. I was like, Kiss Alive 2, double record set, man. And fucking those songs, man, Love Gun
Right.
and
I
all
still-
the fucking hits that were on that album just drove me bananas with rock. But it wasn't until I met Mikey Ripoll's cousin Pia and Mike, who
Black
brought me and the guys at the beach trip a back-to-back cassette of Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz and Judas Priest's Screaming for Vengeance.
Vengeance, man. Classic.
Oh god, yeah.
Blew my fucking mind, pal.
Yeah, baby.
Guitar, and then Rob Halford on vocals on the Judas Priest. Oh, dude, those two albums, bananas, pare. Just drove me bananas. And my sister as well, my older sister Ixie, earlier on had introduced me to I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett, and a lot of the rock stuff. So I must say those guys were my biggest influences. Ixie, that was like Pia's albums was like another trigger, but Ixie was wow, showed me rock and roll, man.
Yeah, because those albums weren't sold here. They had come over from the States and they brought them, and the first time we ever heard them.
Right.
Tirso is right. We had never heard that kind of metal or rock here in the Philippines until foreigners brought it over and forced it upon us. And once they did,
That's true. That's true.
I need more.
I mean, you had like, it was, that would have been like the very early 80s. So you had Foreigner, you had those bands, and, AC/DC, Back in Black was big.
Always.
Around the time, but, and we love that. But you didn't hear the metal, man. There was no. You didn't
You
hear
Yeah,
it?
didn't, you
dude.
didn't, you didn't,
First
you
time I
like
heard.
when you would go to a record store, to buy. Well, I'm a cassette boy, right? So to buy cassettes, you never saw. I remember seeing my first Judas Priest album in Unimart, pa.
Yeah,
Gathering dust on the shelf, right
Yeah.
beside Iron Maiden, Power
yeah.
Slave,
So
and I'm like,
so yes,
"What's this, pare? What's this?" And
yes.
that's
I can tell you exactly what happened there.
So yeah, there
Big
was
Metal Europe.
no, there was no Ozzy Osbourne, there was no
None,
Judas Priest in any of
none,
the record stores. None.
none.
Yeah.
Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith was the
Was
first
the
one that
first.
came out here in the Philippines,
Mhm.
and Ozzy
Because Screaming for
Osbourne.
Vengeance was a massive US hit. That's
Yes, yes. And Ozzy, I remember looking for Ozzy, Bark
Mark
at the
the Moon was
Moon.
the first.
Bark at the Moon.
After Blizzard
Yeah.
of Oz and Dire Hugh Madman came Bark at the Moon with Jakey Lee on guitar. And I remember going to the record stores as soon as it was released. And I came to Unimart and I asked, Ozzy Osbourne, eto sir,
Jeffrey
Jeffrey Osbourne. And I was
Yeah.
like, no Jeffrey Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne. So basically, I knew more
Jeffrey
about rock music than these goddamn salespeople in Unimart. It was just
Oh,
awful. It
sorry.
was awful.
I remember that
Odyssey,
Jeffrey
Odyssey record store. They're horrible.
No, you gotta admit, like when you go to Odyssey and these other like record bars and all that, Unimart was where you actually found the hard
They
to
were the
find
first.
albums.
Yeah, yeah,
Gathering dust, but hey,
I used
they
to
were
find
there.
yeah.
I used to
Now,
find stuff in the old
no,
House of
and this
Stereo
is
in Quad.
this
Yeah,
is
the
why
house
you only
there, House of Stereo. That's
yeah.
the name. We've been trying.
This
It's
is
Yeah.
at the
why
third
you
floor.
only
Yeah,
found
one of the sensei's is really cute.
yeah.
Half of my record collection here, half of my 400 records here are
Unimart.
local records, local
Unimart.
artists. And a lot of them are Nazareth albums. Nazareth
Nazareth
stuff
classic.
people have never heard, not
Yeah,
Love Hurts and fucking Dream On.
yeah.
No, other shit, man, like Telegram and the heck
Telegram.
up.
Yo,
Um,
tangina.
Care of
half
the
of the shit
dog.
half of the
Care of the
shit no one's
dog.
ever heard. And I would go to the record store, 27 pesos a record. One placa was 27 pesos.
Yes,
Yep.
And
yes.
I would
Yeah.
take my allowance every fucking Monday and go and look for a record that looked nice to me rather than I'd never heard. I'd never
Right.
heard these albums.
You gotta
Whoa, nice album
sample.
cover. I'll buy this. And then
Yeah,
it would
same. Used
slap
to do
me.
the same.
And
Okay,
see,
Or,
Ganda
at the
dito
risk
that. Yeah.
or
at
you
the
get
risk of this
lucky.
conversation running away from us, Trissy, what did you listen to when you were growing up?
So growing up, my parents, we had a lot of Motown, a lot
Wow.
of Beatles and Rolling Stones, Milo Buns,
Milo
with Milo.
Buns.
Milo Buns are amazing.
They were
And
from
then
South Chicago, no? No, I'm just kidding.
So Trissy, you were saying you were listening to a lot of the Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Stones and in the car because we lived in Laguna, right? So we'd be in
Yeah.
the car a lot of the time. So that was we were three girls, all three singing. So that's what we did. And then high school, I had my first band, all girl band called Aphrodite, and we did a lot of
Ooh.
twos. And my sister's influence was Edie Brickell, and so we did that.
Wow,
And then
galing.
it was grunge, na Guns N' Roses, and then grunge until college.
It's really funny, like when you see all the diverse musical tastes here, like when Johnny started out with classical music and Tracy's Motown, and then you three, like you guys grew up with all these amazing music. Can I just say that there are two people on this call right now that are directly responsible for influencing my taste in music and broadening my scope in music, because every time I would encounter, like, we would go to Miguel's house before a gig or before going out, and Miguel always had this, like, Wilson, have you heard this? And he would
Yeah.
show me a record, and I'm like, no, I haven't. And then that would just continue all night long. Tirso naman, we used to live near each other, so I used to
Yeah.
walk to your house.
right? That's right.
And you introduced me to Kiss and all that. Except the only thing is I couldn't really appreciate the music whenever we'd go to your house, because Junos, your older brother, would be talking over the whole album.
And pare chicken
And
strike, pare. Chicken
and it's like,
strike.
can you be quiet and so I can listen to it?
Check out the
Yeah,
bass
check-
line, pare. Listen to the
Yeah.
drum solo. Wow, pare. Wow.
So I would actually time my walks. I'd call up Tears on the landline. Is Juno's home? No, I'm gonna come over.
Oh,
So I can listen to the albums again without him talking over it, man.
without audio commentary. He was the first
Commentary.
dude. I remember. So, Migs, just over the weekend, we had Magoo's Pizza after many.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
Oh, from where?
Apparently, they're here in Alamang, so we got some.
Wow.
And I'll never forget. Remember, and we would do this. We would go to Migs' house before the gig, or just when we're hanging out. We'd order Magoo's Pizza, listen to records, drink, and then one day, and I was telling the kids, this is the worst. A friend came over, just out of the blue, and the pizza was there. And he go, and so, you're polite, right? Hey man, have some pizza. And Magoo's pizzas are the square one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
He went straight for the middle piece.
Oh, tangina.
There's
Asshole.
4 middle pizzas with no crust.
Asshole.
He went. The pizza wasn't even touched, man, and he went straight for the middle. And that's the only time I can remember. I actually I kind of blew up, and I said, "What the hell are you doing, man? Why are you going straight for the middle? Why you gotta be that way?" Like, I was mad. I'm like, "What the hell, dude?" So yeah, I was telling the kids about that the other day. It was funny.
So kids, don't ever do that.
Tangina. Fuck yeah.
Right away, you gotta work your way in.
That's true.
You gotta
just
earn
makes
it.
sense.
Oh, diba.
That makes sense. And now, during this pandemic, when somebody orders pizza, like, I do a lot of shoots, right? And I'm a safety officer, and people order pizza. And you see the people trying to like choose a slice, and they're pretty much all the same, right? And they're handling the crust like lifting it, and then they switch to another slice, and I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Oh, wait.
You can't do
Oh.
that. You go back to
Oh,
that
dude.
slice, man.
Yeah.
You
Or you-
take it, man.
Yeah, you just touched it, man.
You take it.
Touch move yan.
Oh, tangina. That's move. Yun.
Oh.
Move yan.
So I feel supremely jealous that you, like most of you guys, grew up listening to the music that I had to fight to discover. Because I mean,
Okay.
I'm from a theater family, so I grew up with Broadway tunes, man. And I remember my sister bringing home a cassette tape of Sticks. And I was like, wow, what's that?
Right.
And then she brought me home a cassette tape of Rat with 2 T's. And I'm like,
Rat.
I was like,
Rat.
wow. I was like, wow,
Yes.
pare, there's music pala like that. And
Yeah.
you guys actually grew up listening to this music. And
Yep.
I think that just makes perfect sense that you guys are actually together in a band right now. This makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. I think if anybody in this band threw a mixtape on, everybody could totally jam to it. Easily.
Wait, Tito
Fuck yeah.
Tirso, we have to explain what a mixtape is, Tito Tirso. We have younger viewers.
Okay, children. First of all, you have
Children.
a cassette tape,
Cassette.
or a CD.
BASF.
BASF,
Yo,
TDK,
puta. You put it in your archive tape deck. Puta yun. Pare.
TDK 90s were my favorite. It's still, I think, the best. Except
Yeah, they had a good weight to them and they lasted. Huh?
the
Yeah.
metal ones. I didn't believe in that metal tape stuff.
Did you guys ever used to buy those C120s? Those cheap ass
Yes.
C120s.
Those-
That would always fuck up your tape deck, man. Remember that?
Yeah, haba.
The tape was too thin. Had to be a
First
90
one
or
to get
less.
eaten, pare.
Yeah.
They always get eaten. The 90s were the best.
Para sakto. Yeah, para sakto. One album per side.
Exactly.
No, because yeah, diba? Not only one album per side, but when you used to make, for example, if you had a good collection and you made a mixtape of your set lists, right? When you were the band, diba? First set, 45 minutes. Second set, 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then the set break would be the time before Auto Reverse came when
Diba?
you switched the tape around.
Yeah, auto reverse was a game changer.
But I would
That
do
was
it.
That's
Okay, okay,
Oh
Or
okay.
yeah,
skip. You skip one.
I remember
Di ba? Okay, okay. Razorback,
I remember. Oh,
Heavy Got Sounds, Volume 1,
yeah.
only
insisted
one.
on putting at the end of side 1,
Yeah.
flip mo na yung tape.
Yeah,
Because
Dude, that
I
blew
remember
my
that. Yeah,
mind,
really,
man.
I mean, what the hell, dude?
I was like, what? Who said that? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
it's not the CD, it wasn't on there. But you got the cassette, it was on there, man.
Yeah.
Pare, flip mo na yung
Ito na
tape.
yun, tape.
Yeah, because side A is always longer than side B, naturally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Side A has to
Yeah.
be longer than side
Yeah.
B by a minute or two. So you throw that in. So
But
when you're like, what the hell? That's funny. So anyway, kids, a mixtape was when you would get, I guess, this thing. No. There's a relevance. There's a relevance.
Oh yeah, go on, go on.
The closest thing to a mixtape today would be if you made your own Spotify playlist
There you go.
Mm.
then you shared it with your friends.
But you
That-
had limited time to do it.
Yeah, that's
To do it
basically
with, yeah.
that's basically what a mixtape was. Except on a cassette, you couldn't order it by alphabet or whatever. You got it in the order because and I think this is a lost art. A lot of these
Yeah.
things have been lost, but what song comes after what and the order
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
sequence. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
is supremely important. And if you could obviously do that on Spotify, but you can screw it up by putting date added or alphabetical order or whatever.
Or random, yeah.
You could do stuff like that. But in essence, that was a mixtape. But we would do it hard, old school. I would get a cassette. You have the record on the
I mean-
cassette, and you press play on the record, and you had to do it as fast as you could to not waste tape.
Oh, yeah, don't
Yes.
waste it,
Don't
man.
waste the tape, dude. And then you do that, and then always the best. Records used to have the song and then the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you would look at the cassette tape, the amount of tape.
Yeah, exactly.
48. Kaya yan. Kaya yan.
Kaya.
48. And then you would just do it. And then you're like, yeah. And it was a mark of honor. It was a mark of honor if you could get the song to end and
Fill
you
it
just
up
end of the
right
tape,
there.
the end bit, the white bit that was not
Yeah.
anymore
The
tape,
leader.
Yeah.
The leader.
like that's
You
just
tape.
coming in. It's just almost.
You remember what you said, Tirsa, about putting that flip mo na yung tape or putting that at the end. What we would do is if there was any little bit left over, we'd break out the Cheech and Chong album. I don't know if you millennials would
Yeah.
remember Cheech and Chong, and we put a little short in the back there, like
On the fight
Where's
one,
it?
guys.
Hey
On
Margaret.
the fight one.
Dave ain't home.
Hey Margaret,
Hey Margaret.
class, shut up.
My name is Sister Mary Elephant.
Dave's
Yeah.
not here.
You have
Dave's
to
not here. Yeah, Dave's not here was always the best thing to put on. Or one of those weird songs like Bloat On. Remember that? Bloat On. Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant.
And of course, just to
brilliant.
add a technical explanation for Mr. Ripple's mixtape explanation. When we're talking about like C60, C90, C120s, these denote the number of minutes on the tape. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you were on a C60, you only had six.
Yeah.
So you only had 60 minutes on the tape, or you had 90 minutes on the tape, but it wasn't that. So per side, you'd have to divide it by in half.
Yeah.
A C60 would only have 30 minutes per side. And personally, I always thought that was too short for a mixtape. That's why the
Yeah.
90s were perfect.
90s.
Those were the
45 minutes of good music, and then you flip the tape.
You know what I used to do? I used to make these live mixtapes. I would get all the live albums and I would
Yeah.
make a whole mixtape only
Oh,
of
galing.
live. And then I would do on side A, no artist repeated. And then on side B, I would
Yes.
do the exact same artist on side 2, different songs. So like you had, each artist would have one song on each side in the same sequence. So I would
Did you have 2 turntables?
No. You could do it on one. I never did the two. That was different. The whole mixing thing. And kids, this is where the
You
real
do the
you would go when the
wala
audience.
pang scratching nun.
Yeah, you would fade out the audience of record one and fade in the audience of record two.
Yo,
Sounded like
but make sure doesn't reach.
Okay
Make
ka
sure
lang,
doesn't reach the
cowboy?
red in the view.
what?
Cowboy, okay ka lang?
I'm good,
We're
man.
still up for this.
Sorry.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
But that
Yeah.
was, I go to Miggs's house and that was the typical afternoon. That was Miggs, I gotta make a tape. All right. And then he would get my tape.
Yeah, go.
And then he would get my tape, or I would get his tape, whoever was making the tape, the master, and then I would just copy it.
Yeah.
Because you had the double deck. After the tape,
Everyone had the same tape.
the same tape.
Wait,
and then
wait.
I have pizza, whatever, and then just so we both go.
Remember when those tape decks came out with high speed dubbing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get the
Yeah.
master cassette and then dub it to another cassette in double speed. And you're like,
I
that's
was
high
always
up.
dubious. I always had my reservations about this high speed dubbing. I like the real time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tirso brought me 5 records, five placas from the US when he went to the States. This must have been 84 or 85, 1984, 85. Tirso, I ordered these 5 placas.
One of my
He
biggest
brought them
regrets.
home for me. We hadn't even taped them on cassette. We hadn't even taped it. He said, "Here are your records, man. Wonderful. Can I borrow them? I'll take them at home." Okay. He left the 5 placas on the back, behind the back seat of his
Oh
car.
no.
Oh
no.
no!
I didn't
And they
brought
all ended up like pancakes, like warped pancakes, man.
Shit!
And they were useless, man. And
No,
that
we
was
put them in the oven and we flattened them and they kind of
we
work.
tried our best.
And it kind of worked.
See, listen, man, this is why I hate vinyl, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
diba?
ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I hate vinyl. I'm happy. The moment vinyl, there was another replacement for vinyl, I was freaking happy because
Actually,
Of the-
really cool digital too.
I would warp
Warped
records.
records suck.
All because of the traumatic experience.
Yeah, that
Of
was
leaving
all,
it in the
those are
backseat.
great records too, man. That's when record cost like $12 a piece, huh?
Not even, di ba? Fucha,
Pare,
piso-piso lang yun.
$12.
No, the new
Yeah,
record
just about.
at the
And
time.
now new records.
Oh, Johnny, that's
At the
when
time,
you
yeah.
12 pesos a
No,
record.
$12, man. $12 back in the day, dude.
No, even
Yeah,
the
that's a lot,
CDs,
ah.
$12, $12 to $15 yung CDs, di ba?
Yeah, when,
Yeah, parang ganun.
Yeah, but I think Tirso, more than the cost is that these albums were not available here.
Yeah,
Yun.
that's the thing.
So when they warped in your back seat, they were
Yeah.
gone.
I
dude,
know,
Elvis Hitler.
right? Fuck. Sorry, man. You know, in my list of regrets, that's there. So they can never play. Listen, they can never
get it
play
back.
my way in my funeral. They can never play it. Maybe they can. No, because I have a few regrets. So it's one of the few. You know. But you
Oh,
can
guys.
still play it in my funeral.
Guys, guess who just joined us on the feed? Miss Baba Balse is on the feed right
Oh,
now.
Hi,
Uy,
Baba.
hey, ba!
And Baba
What's
is
up,
saying, Baba's saying you have to make
Oh.
sure you cue the beginning of the tape at the right spot with your pinky or ball pen, or else put it at the start
Yun!
of your first song.
You-
Puta, dapat sakto. Yun.
Dapat sakto yan, di ba?
Baba is totally correct.
And then when you pop it out, you look pa the bottom, you're like, wait, shh, okay na.
Yeah.
Ready? Go.
Okay na.
It was a science. It was an art.
The
And
worst-
You know, I actually.
and the
I-
importance of a mixtape, Pat, if you had, like, you know, you go to on a beach trip or on a road trip, or you're just going out for the night and you're playing a great mixtape in the car, that's one of the things that parang, yeah, man, high up your mixtape. And then
No.
when you reach the end of the tape and it was bitin, pucha, you never heard the end of it. Kaya no mixtape to. Pucha na. Get out of the car.
Up and the song got cut. You're
Yeah,
out,
get
you're
out of the car, man.
You're
Noob.
no more. I don't friend you.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of
Ibang meaning yan nun.
our solo, and then, ay, putang ina mo, whose tape is this?
It's like those jerks that cut off right at the end of Layla before the piano extra. And you're like,
Ah,
dude,
Yeah,
you don't do that.
yeah. I actually turned that into a living.
Really?
Editing tapes like that. I was a recording engineer for Radio Veritas at
Oh.
one point. So
Hey,
I used to actually do stuff like splicing tape and making sure and
dude,
making
you
ads,
with the
stuff like
plate,
that. So
tape it
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. I used to do that. Yeah, yeah. That's a lost art now, man. But yeah, I turned that practice into a living for a while. Yeah.
So guys, Johnny's that old.
yeah,
Yep, I'm that old.
Johnny,
I'm older than all y'all, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say
right?
he's the oldest in the
72
band.
years old, Johnny. He's the oldest
He
member of the
looks
band.
really good.
He
Yeah.
looks
He looks
good.
good for 72. I'll tell you
Dude,
that.
idol
Thanks,
yan.
Chrissy.
Guys,
Wow.
Johnny is fitter than all of us put together.
He
Seriously.
Uh,
Show us some guns. Show us
two
some
more
guns,
years.
Johnny.
Show us the guns.
Oh,
Boom.
there you go, man.
Talking about.
2 more years, I'm a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about that, man. I get 20% off everything.
20% off.
There. You get to cut in line legitimately.
Ah,
Then
But the
we kick you out of
UPF
Pigdog.
20% off.
well, what makes what?
And then we kick you out of Pigdog because you're too old.
Retire, I get a pension. I get a pension from whoever else you hire,
That's
pare.
so pare. Sure. Sagot ko.
TF niya, 20% off, pare.
Wow, labo.
You should have lied about your age, Johnny. You should have lied about your age.
Nah, I'm too old to lie about my age.
No, but that's the beauty of it. I think no matter how old we get, I mean, we have been talking like this since we were kids, and we're still
Oh, yeah,
talking
fuck.
in the same way.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man.
So really,
Fuck yeah, dude.
rock and roll keeps you young, man.
No, actually, even now, as you get older, you really don't take much bullshit like you used to back when you were younger. As you get older, you really can't deal with bullshit.
That's true. You have a lot less patience now because I just simply do not have the time for this, and I don't
Right.
have the
There you
patience
go.
for this. So bye bye. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Next.
Cowboy, does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Absolutely, man.
Cowboy so quiet.
Doesn't make sense.
You can
Oh,
tell
nga. What's happening?
I'd like to say I'm the youngest in the band, but that's Tracy, the other quiet one.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You're not.
So wait, just Tracy, you're the youngest in the band.
Yeah, but only
Just
And the
by
most mature, if I may add, the most mature for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so all right, so I've got individual questions for you guys here that we thought of, and I'm gonna start with Trissy. Okay, so
Oh.
Trissy, how is it being the only woman surrounded by so much testosterone? Or is it easy because you actually have the biggest balls in the band?
Correct.
Enough.
Correct.
it's okay. I'm used to it. Having the biggest balls, I mean.
Seriously, because you know what, between all of you guys, I feel like I can take you in a fight, but one look from Trissy, I fold. One look.
Me too.
Diba?
Tote.
Diba, Miguel?
Look at Miguel.
One look and you're like,
He knows what he's talking about there.
Wilson, the only reason she's got the biggest balls in the band is because she's got the biggest husband in the band.
Yeah, there you go. Lots of practice, pa.
I will kick anyone's ass who'll fucking mess with my wife, man.
no, but then that's the beauty of it, Miguel. You don't have to because
I don't have to.
one look from Trissy, and we all fold.
Agree.
Guys, am I right? Guys, am I right?
100%.
Of course, yeah.
Good,
Totally.
she packs,
Tracy can handle herself in any situation, man.
she packs a punch, man, for sure.
Yeah, dude.
It's
When,
okay.
when,
There's violence.
when she beats me up, when those times that we have arguments,
Yeah,
and dude, I
we've
can't
seen
even
him.
complain
We've
to the
seen him.
police.
So,
I can't even call the police. I can't even tell the media. She just,
Yeah,
they
di ba?
won't believe
Makes
him.
it,
quiet.
she makes sure not to leave bruises, man. Yeah.
You see?
No, Trish
Yeah,
is
but
not only strong, she's smart. So like, if she's
No,
gonna beat
no,
you up,
no.
she's gonna use like a rubber tube so it doesn't leave any marks. So that way, ain't nobody gonna know, but you're gonna feel the pain, bro. But it ain't gonna show,
But,
right? She's clever. That's why it's
but,
scary.
I can't unsee that shit, man.
I know Trixie with a rubber tube.
But,
The rubber
dude.
tubes are in the drawer upstairs, and she uses them.
Yeah, that's right.
Title of
No,
the
Trish,
first
Trish,
single, Rubber Tube.
Yeah, that's
Trish,
the
you're
first
welcome
single
to
right
borrow my
there.
whip
Rubber
any day,
tube,
man.
baby. Okay, so okay, another question here for Miguel. Okay, Miguel, how many drum sets have you demolished in your life?
Oh, very few, very few. There was one at Weekends Live where I kicked the kick
Oh shit.
drums through, and we had to go with Mang Tony Tirso. Remember?
remember, man.
We had to go to Poblacion with Mang Tony to get a
Yeah.
kick drum because
That
I
wasn't your
demolished.
fault though, man. That was a
Oh,
shitty.
it was a flimsy
Shitty
old.
kick, yeah.
It was a kick drum
Shitty
for
kick.
children. We had
And
a
then
real man playing on the drums, man. What do you expect when you're a real
Kick
man
that.
playing on a boy's kick drum? Is good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
I'm
remember
sure it's Joe Layton's
all
fault.
the tom-toms then, Tirso, all the tom-toms were different colored.
You know, and they were dented. They had divots in them. It was,
Divots.
David's.
you know, they were
And
like
then I would say
You
a
guys,
couple of snare drums along the way, but I'm not a demolisher of drum kits. No,
You're not like Bosho
no. Bosho was
because
a fuck.
nobody wanted to play after Bosho because then they would be inheriting a beat up
yeah.
wasak drum set,
I
man.
lent him my Tama kit, my 7-piece Tama kit in Calibar once when Coco Jam played in between us, and the motherfucker Bosho punched
God bless his soul.
He like
holes
it,
into
right?
my snare drum because he was hitting like
No.
this, and
Yeah.
my
He's hitting like
pimple.
pointing at it, yeah.
The horrors! What the fuck? Bosho never knew how to hit the drum properly. He was a good
Actually,
drummer.
that's
He
true.
got time, but he never played properly, man.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry to
was-
say.
He was stupid.
Idol
He
pero
was a
sira,
bomb. He was
dude.
great.
Yeah.
But no, I remember though, at some point in Cali, it was Bosho for a while, and then we played because Coco Jam played Fridays, we played
Yeah.
Saturday. So
Yeah.
it was Bosho for a while, and then Chong took over. And Chong would tune the drums
Yeah.
beautifully. And Migs hadn't learned how to tune his drums as
Yeah.
nice. And so he'd show up the next day and it's like, oh my God, this
Sounds,
And-
sounds so good.
I didn't
was
even know you
great.
can tune drums. Tangin na.
we didn't
Yeah,
even know you could do that, man.
But Bosho, he played with us for a long time in the Blue Rats.
Yeah,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
5 years.
He was a monster, right? So he would just go for it. But some nights he had so much gout in his hands that I could see him holding, the
In his
sticks,
hands, that's bad.
finger
Yes.
and the thumb, and his rest of his hand was all swollen, and he
Wow.
would play like
He was
Same as the
Actually, I think that's the reason why he would kind of stab the kit because he couldn't use his wrist anymore.
he couldn't
Yeah.
hold it right, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I have some experience with gout. I've never had it, but everyone in my bands have had it. So,
That's me.
yeah, so
That's me. Right there, man.
with Razorback too, everybody has gout.
Yeah.
Ironically, except myself and Manuel, who are the oldest guys in the band, which is weird. But anyway, all I know about gout is if it's in your hands, that's fucked up. So
Dude,
if-
it's already
Stuck it.
that's
the
a
upper
mess. So
extremities.
yeah, that was pretty bad, man. I never realized that. I mean, I've always loved Bosho the way he played. He was entertaining as hell, man. He was always,
Entertaining as hell. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never realized that he had that condition with his hands.
Technique, nothing of the sort. He had no technique
Yeah, he
whatsoever.
was pure instinct.
Well, that too.
Just
That too,
pure
right?
wild.
He bashed the fuck out of them, though.
But he was pure heart and instinct.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that's I've always loved this play. He was always, and what a joy to watch. It was great.
Always what a joy to watch. Except, there was one when we did that Puerto Galera Music Festival, and so Coco Jam was on the lineup. You guys were on the lineup also.
Yeah.
We had the Rats there. We had, everybody was there, and I remember him panicking. And Borsho's like a really
Yeah,
smooth,
to panic.
cool cat, diba? And he panicked because his wife Emmy forgot to pack his pomade.
Oh,
and
Oh.
and I have never heard, like, an established musician, Pinoy rock icon, basically come up to me and tell me, "Di ako tutugtog." I'm like, why?
Really? Because she was
Yeah,
listening to Pomada?
dude, I had to
Well,
go
yeah.
all over to all the marketplaces, all the
Naganap ng
palenques,
three
all over
Yeah,
flowers.
son,
Puerto
there's like one
to
palenque in
just get.
Puerto.
Yeah. I had to go from White Beach. I had to go back just to
Wait,
get his three
Three
flowers, man.
flowers pomade.
And then when I presented it to him, he didn't smile. He didn't say thank you. He said, "That's all he did." He
Yeah.
nodded. He got the pomade from me, and he did a fantastic set. But he killed the drum set. But I was prepared. I had another snare for him, and I
Kaya
had
nga yun eh.
spare toms.
There's a reason why Suklayin Mo is his theme song, right?
Diba?
play mo,
And I didn't think of that back then. But when he said, "Hindi ako tutugtog," I'm like, "Bakit? Wala akong
The
pomada."
fuck?
I'm like, "What?" And
Hey, man.
I was flying on acid that time, and I'm like, "What?" I couldn't make sense.
Can you imagine?
Pomada
yeah. What?
drums.
Yeah.
Huh? Do you need it for lubricant? I don't know.
I can just imagine the store clerk and you're there, Miss, asking for this, and she's like, "What the hell is this guy on? How can I get some?"
Ay, kailangan ko ng pomada. Kailangan ko ng pomada.
Kaya Pomada. Yung three flowers, ha? 3 flowers.
3 flowers lang. Hindi 3 flowers. And she had to dig. She had to dig for it. And she found one little jar. And I'm like, oh, angels started singing. I was like, oh, yes, my drums are playing. But my God, man, that was insane. Oh, I have a question for Johnny. Naman. Okay.
Mm.
So Johnny, being the bass player, and my experience that most bass players that I've worked with, can you say that you are the voice of reason in the band?
Oh, wow.
And
In
look
my old band?
and
In my
look
old band,
and
absolutely,
look,
man.
silence from the other members. Silence.
What? We're just being polite.
follow where he goes. It's okay.
In my old band, I love to think so, but there was so much drugs and booze going on back then. I can't really say for sure right now. In this band, I'm lucky that everyone has a level head. It's easy enough to work with, so I don't really, I don't feel like I have to be that kind of guy.
Nice.
It goes natural. It's actually quite nice now, especially Trissy. Trissy's the levelest head in the band, man.
It's
Sometimes.
because you're all scared of her.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's got that blackjack that she's.
The rubber hose, man. The rubber hose.
Rubber hose. It wasn't for that shit.
No,
But
but
yeah,
Johnny-
yeah.
Johnny's right. It's pretty easy in this band. I mean, it's quite refreshing. You walk in, okay, what are we doing? This. All right. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Yep,
get
yep, yep.
along.
It's
Yep. In my old band though, it was the breed. It was different, man. I mean, like we had to deal with all of the quirks of Charlie and Manny, and you know what kind of quirks those guys have, man. So I thought I was the voice of reason, but a lot of people thought I was being unreasonable because I was being too strict. I was being too
Yeah.
yeah. It's
No,
ridiculous,
but
man. I
but
mean,
basically that's like your job description as the bass player. I gotta keep you all in the groove. So
ganun
that
ba?
should
Well, to keep
that
the
should translate out off stage also. Huy, you don't throw up on your drum set. Huy, stop jumping on the table with your guitar.
there's only so much you can do. There's
Well,
only so much you can do with guys like that, man. Like how blank. I won't say anymore. That how blank was always late, and how blank was always so fucking loud.
Oh,
It was hard back then. But we got it. We did 9 years of rock and roll. That was fun.
yeah.
Johnny, I have a follow-up question. So with
Mm.
Big Dog, has second set Johnny made an appearance yet?
Not yet, thank God.
Oh
Not
God.
yet.
Second,
Oh,
not
Not
yet, thank
yet.
God.
right.
No, no,
You're
no.
kidding.
Because second set Johnny is a force to be reckoned with.
No, not anymore. I hope not anymore. I think I'm over that shit, dude.
No, because these days, instead of me smoking him out and then second set he's fucked up, he's doing cocaine. So he's more up there.
So he's okay, pare.
No,
He's okay. He's okay.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, pal.
Giving you the side eye. Yeah, I'm good, pare. Why? Why? What's wrong?
No,
Why?
no, no. No,
Well,
yeah.
let's go. Okay, so cowboy. All right, cowboy. These questions for you. So,
Yeah.
and this is a really serious question that has been on the minds of a lot of our viewers as well, and people I've talked to, um, when they found out that you guys are going to be in the show. So, basically, the question is, how hard is it to be that poggy?
Nah.
Nah, no, Benny. See,
What
Do
kind of
your
question is that,
Hiring
pare?
minds wanna know.
do your looks get in the way of the music?
Sometimes
Oh,
I
ayun.
wonder
All
if
the
there's really more to
Bridgerton
life than
fans
being
wanna
really, really
know.
good looking.
All the Bridgerton fans wanna know, bro.
I haven't even seen that yet. Is there more to life though? Is there more to life than being really ridiculously
No,
good
because you know
looking?
what? It's
Are
you're
you?
ridiculous. Like from the comments that I've gotten, you're ridiculously good looking and you're talented pa. And you're tall.
Nah, no,
So that's
Benny.
so
Ito
unfair.
yun.
That's so unfair. That's why, guys, I think you should keep Cowboy in the back because
This
Yeah,
is why there's
pa.
so many trolls on the internet, pare. This
Dude,
is
they don't even
why.
think I'm real.
It's
I
all
No,
know.
we
So
compensate naman in other ways, pare.
envy.
Yeah.
These guys create fake accounts to troll him because they're envious.
that's true. Hey,
Yun.
so Cowboy, you just
Dude.
got out of Facebook jail, right?
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
drop the soap? How was it?
It was pretty peaceful, man. It was good. I was productive for once.
Right? Pretty
Yeah,
refreshing,
there you go.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Facebook's a bottomless hole, man. Can't get shit done with that stuff
It's a
around.
cesspool, man.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And you know what? Hey,
Good and
you're
bad. Good
very
and bad, of course.
you're what I love about you that you're very unspoken. In some ways that you are extremely fearless, right? In
Mm.
terms of your Facebook activity. And even when you are let out of Facebook jail, you come up with a post, screenshot these people, and go, "Hey, motherfuckers, I'm back!"
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
And you
It's
gotta love that.
ridiculous. I don't know.
You-
Facebook has weird standards, so yeah.
Well,
That's true.
standards is a term used loosely in terms of what's allowed on the internet or
Yeah.
not. It's a cult of personality.
Way too long.
And I don't understand how they don't believe that you are a real person, and B, when they realize that you're a real person, that you cannot be a Filipino,
Yeah, exactly. Classic. Like,
that you're a
go come
foreigner
here to the
making sausaw.
Philippines. And I'm like, I'm in the Philippines. Para malaman mo talaga yung nangyayari dito. I'm like, dude.
Ano talaga?
I'm
I'm
right
Tayo
here.
mo, pare.
Yeah, it's just
Diba?
it's funny, dude. It's just entertaining. I just use it to entertain myself during downtime, pretty much.
And really, that's the use of social media. I mean, if you are an active social media user, particularly of this platform, it's either you use it or it uses you. So right
Totally.
now we're using it because I can't be in the same room with you guys talking about, past glories and future glories and good times.
God, I
So
wish we
we're
could.
we're, we're using the soon though.
Absolutely. There's still so
life.
much more good, man. It's still so much
Yeah.
more good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
think that's what's important. Like, don't let the bastards get you down and
Yeah.
keep proving to them that you're A, real, and
A real
B,
person.
a
It's my real
person,
face.
And
a real
Pinoy.
person, and Pinoy, man. And you're right here.
Yeah.
You're right here with us.
Absolutely, man.
That's the best.
All right. Okay, Tirso, question for you. Okay, so out of everybody here outside of Pig Dog, you're the only one with a currently active band.
True.
Okay. What are you getting out of this? Out of being with Pig Dog? What's in this for you?
This, it's this band is great. It's super easy. Come in, songs are great. What are we doing? This, dude. Yeah, I've always wanted to fucking do that. It's great. You come in, there's no, it's weird. There's no pressure to be something. I don't gotta live up to 25 years, 30 years of an image or something that somebody thinks that I gotta do. I just gotta go out there and I gotta rock. That's what I want. That's what I do.
Uh,
But in this band, you can do that. I can just go. I'm playing. I'm rocking it out. I don't, no worries, man. But it's not that simple. It's not that simple a thing because I take everything I do musically. I take things I do a little seriously. So, what I do. Yeah. No, but a lot of it is the people I work with, and that I think that's how I work. I've never had this is my first side band. Razorback was my first band, and it's always been my band. 30 years. So this is my first side project, really, right? So, I put everything into it as I know how, and my method of being in a band is my formula or the way I deal with it is I'm just a part of the whole, I'm part of that sum of the band is a sum of its parts, and I'm just one peg in that wheel. And so this band is a different wheel, and it's got its own dynamic, and it's got its own energy that it does, and that's different from the other band that I'm in. And I guess that's how Project Band.
I remember.
I don't know how they work. This is my first
I remember.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I remember when I first invited you to ask. I remember when I first invited Pearson, and I asked him, would you be interested in doing something with me, Tracy Cowboy, and Miguel? Yes, kagad, pare. So, oh wow, right away.
Yeah,
So
and if I had to choose a few people to work with, this would be it, right? Remember, when you start a band, you're with people, hey, whatever, right? We're friends, so we're doing it. But these are seasoned professionals who are also my friends and who are awesome. We all love the same music. So it's like cheating almost, because
you didn't have to work as hard to get there.
Yeah,
it's
man.
I mean, it's just like you're there.
It's too easy. Everything is great, but I always like to think of myself and my role as I'm just a peg in the wheel. Because if I don't think of myself like that, then things can get ugly. Over 30 years, I went out of that, and I thought myself a little more than that, and it didn't go very well. And I realized it's not the way you should really view, or at least not the way I view the organizations I'm in. I need to be a peg in the wheel. A peg in the wheel. That's
another brick in the wall.
Yeah, that's the best role that I think I'm most productive in. If I start screwing around too much, things go dangerously wrong.
So I think
totally, man. I mean, I asked Tear, so hey, dude, do you want to take the solo? He's like, nah, you take it. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But if it's my solo, and I know I can do it, I will take it, and I'll tell him. Right?
Yeah.
And you know what I like is I'll tell him, and Cowboy's not going to be like, fucking asshole. Fucking. They're going to be like that. And I think that's what I love about this. It's like I can actually do shit like that. And he can do that too, and he doesn't have to worry about it. And I don't have to worry about it. When you're in a 2-guitar dynamic, the guitar solo, that's a big deal. Especially if it's a one solo song, right? That's a big, but when you're in your first band and you're just coming out and all that, it's a big deal. But at this point, I'm like, nah, man, you do it. This is gonna be my time to have a drink. It's gonna be great. So you do the song. You know what I mean? It's easy. It's easy. And this band is, and what I love about this band is everyone's very professional. Everything's smooth. It's so smooth. Everything's just flowing so nicely. So it's I don't know. It's like after all the work that I've done now, this is a shoe that fits really well. So super easy to slip
Well,
into.
I think you touched on the heart of it. Like, you guys have the same musical tastes, and like you were mentioning, oh, let's play this one. Yeah, I've always wanted to play that song.
Yeah.
And since you guys are playing with each other, and you guys are all seasoned veterans. Thank God it's easy, you know,
Yeah.
because
It's,
you
Yeah.
have
Fuck
learned
yeah.
the lessons from all your previous bands, and not only lessons learned, but also wisdom earned, not only on how a band theoretically should work, but your position in the band. Like what Tears was saying, I am a little peg in the wheel. I'm a little spoke. You know what I mean? I'm part of a
Yep.
whole. What are the best band practices that you are currently employing that you learned from your other bands?
no ego in this band. And what I see and what I think works, there's
Fuck
no
yeah.
ego, dude.
Fuck
If it
yeah.
sucks, somebody will tell you it sucks, and you're just gonna say, you know what, you're right, it sucks. That's it. Literally, that's it. And it's hey, let's do it. Sounds good. Ah, doesn't sound so good. We need to work on it. All right, well then let's keep that and let's work on this. It it's very ego-less. It's like a nice, if we were a corporation,
Yeah, the
we would be well above Apple
the support system is really good.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I like it. I like how when I get to the venue and then Tirso and Johnny are there already making sound check, and I'm like, yes,
di ba?
diba? It's super pro. I mean, like
Yeah.
on time sound check. It's the
Like
best, man.
we're on time to band rehearsals. Can you hear me? We changed
Yeah.
mic.
Yeah.
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 We're on time for band rehearsals. We know what songs we're gonna do. We like each other. Maybe love each other,
Huh?
but we do.
Not in that way.
Yeah,
Yet.
for sure.
Not yet.
and most importantly, like Tirsa said, like we work as a team. I think that's really important in a band, that you're a team, and you
And
have a
we
show,
listen. Yeah.
but you have to put it on together, and then you let each other shine in some parts, but you're one team that puts on that amazing show. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And we listen to each other, and not just musically, but to opinions and what we think should happen with a certain song. We listen to each other. If it doesn't work, we find ways. It's cool. Best so far.
That's what I was gonna say. There's a lot of respect. I mean, over and above everything else, there's a lot of mutual respect. So it's like I'm not gonna come in there. Yeah, I've been the most active. Let's say, right, 30 years. I'm not gonna go in there slinging my dick around, pretending to be Mister. Because I know that ain't gonna fly with this crew, man. No way. I would have been slapped down on day one, and I would have deserved it. And I'm not like that anyways. But that's not how you get into. That's not how you do it, and that's not how this band operates. There's like absolutely no room for that. And not only is there no room for that, there would never be an opportunity for you to even put that on the table. It wouldn't even come out. You wouldn't even have the opportunity to do it.
I think that's what's really important, like mutual respect. I mean, just the whole
That's what
point
it
of
is.
like
Exactly.
coming on time, and coming in prepared. With knowing the songs you're gonna do today, basically like this is our agenda for today, because taking hours out of your day to do something you love, you don't want to spend any of that time hanging around for somebody who's late, for somebody who's like
Yeah.
didn't know what the hell they were doing when they came in, who didn't review the song, and I think that mutual respect, even with those two tiny things, I think goes a long way, because if you're all in the same room and you're all focused on doing one thing, learning a song or playing the hell out of a song, then that's what ideally things should be like. Like
No,
here's what thing. If this was a corporation, you know what I mean?
yeah, we're like the best run corporation out there.
Yeah.
So
If this was the government, oh,
It does happen. It does happen, Jamie, where we all go into the studio. So, did everyone learn the song? And
Nope.
someone can nicely admit that I didn't do my homework, and
Just
okay,
move on.
we'll drop it, and we'll just move on. Better than just bullshitting your way through it.
Yeah,
It's better that way. We work very well together. It's a good friendship between all of us.
yeah.
Hey,
It's
dude, I wanted to say, man, everybody had booze sent to them, and then you send me these things. Walang tama, pare. Kanina pa ang kain ng kain.
You're,
Kulang pa,
you're
pare. Kulang pa.
you're gonna
the last one has.
you're gonna get addicted to those Milo buns, man. They are amazing.
I'm having some later.
Yes, you have to save some for treat.
Walang tama, dude.
Maligo lang.
The sugar will kick in eventually. The sugar will kick in. Okay, so
Cheers,
okay,
guys.
cheers.
Good to
Man.
see you all. Good to see you all.
And cowboy just like I had no
Yeah.
idea. But amazing.
May behind the scenes pa yan, pare.
Mm.
My set
Okay,
to
so I have another
Oh,
question
no.
for you, man. Okay, so when you choose songs to cover, all right, when not only do you choose songs like, oh, I love this song, right, but do you take into consideration the covers that other bands already do, and you say, no, I don't want to do that. It
Not
doesn't. Does that
really.
I think if it's overdone,
yeah.
then we like, everybody does it.
yeah.
You
Well, like,
wouldn't,
what's an overdone?
you wouldn't want to do Sweet Child of Mine.
No.
Or
Yeah.
But
like or
No,
like in
no,
I
June
gotta
that's
think.
it.
or in June Lupito's world, Tears in Heaven, na naman.
Yeah.
No,
The
but
more,
if
the
it's
more
something we can put our
obscure,
own
the
unique
better.
twist on it. If it's something we can put our own unique twist to it, then maybe. But for the most part, yeah, if it's really like Tracy said, if it's overdone, I won't even touch it.
And if and on the opposite end of the coin, the more obscure it is, the more attractive
There you
it
Oh,
is.
go.
there you go.
Oh, this is why
Yeah.
Children of the Grave, right? Black
Hey,
Sabbath.
man,
Yeah.
Nobody would
that's how we did it in the early days, Tirso. We had so many obscure cover songs that people were like, whoa,
Yeah, they thought they were ours.
Razorback songs? Bro.
Right? That's why I know it was always like that, and it's that's great when you find that like an obscure Sabbath song that you do, or like some weird AC/DC song that nobody really cares for, but you do it
There you go.
well, and it's nice because those are the deep. What do they call them? Deep cuts.
Yeah, the deep
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah.
Yung mga
Deep
side
cut.
B
I
yan.
like that. I like that. That's a good
So
one.
that's the trick,
Deep
right?
cut.
But
So that's gonna be the second single from Pigdog. First is gonna be Rubber Hose, and then Deep Cuts.
deep cuts. That's it.
Deep cuts.
I gotta write that shit down.
No, but still,
I gotta
we
write that
haven't
shit
covered
down.
anything. I mean, like, I still listen to all the songs. Like, it's still all in my playlist. It's not like we're covering songs that I don't listen to. I mean, I even if we're not playing those songs, I'm still listening to them. That's the great
Yeah.
part of it. Sometimes
Right.
you're gonna cover songs and you don't really listen to it, so it ends up being a chore, diba? Like you have to learn it. It's like,
Yeah, man. Dude, I was at work today. It's like what 11 a.m. Shot Down in Flame comes
There
on.
you go.
I was like, yes.
exactly.
Pause the meeting for
Blame.
because I just want to get through this guitar solo here. You know, it's great, man.
Our ABD took me a while to find my placement on those songs. Like how to make it kind of.
Yeah, but you
Hey, yours.
great Bon Scott. I think you do a better Bon Scott than Brian Johnson.
Yo,
I agree. I agree.
Think about it a lot.
Brian Johnson, right?
You guys should do my favorite. It's been my ringtone for like the past 3 years. My alarm tone is it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Yes, yeah.
And
It
really,
takes
when
you
you
that long to wake up.
yeah, no, dude, I'm awake, but then I finish the song. I'm awake, but I finish the song, and I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. The next, shit, para. It's the equivalent of snoozing. Like there was a year where I had Layla, the original version of Layla, as my alarm tone, and I realized I was waiting for the piano extra, and then I realized
Snooze.
shit, I'm still in bed because it's a 12-minute song.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I gotta get up. You know.
That's an interesting question. What's your wake up tone on your phone?
Yeah.
What's your wake up tone,
Interesting
guys?
question.
I don't have
Johnny,
a wake
what's,
up
what's
tone. My dog wakes me up.
I don't.
Mine's Paradise City.
oh,
All right.
Nice.
nice,
Mine's
nice.
Nice easy
Once
opening.
that whistle comes in, you gotta get up, man.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
up.
there you go. Yeah, the guitar intro comes in nice and easy, and then just before the 8 count, man, you gotta get up.
You're up.
Jam.
Mine's the great gig in the sky. Like
Nice.
Puta,
Oh,
okay yan.
I'm
That's
in
a good
bed.
one.
It's quite nice.
but then that would be a dangerous song because you're gonna finish the song again. You're like, you're
I've
gonna wake up
slept,
late.
I've slept through it more than once, man.
Tracy, what's your alarm?
No, mine's boring. It's my hatedest sound in the world. My
Which
alarm.
is which
The
is
Oh,
alarm. No, I
okay.
don't
alarm,
know.
alarm.
Nothing. It's just a phone alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So I
just
did I did
sometimes
spend
I want to kill it. Huh?
I did spend a year once with my when I was working in corporate. My wake up tone, my wake up alarm was the theme from Star Wars.
Mm,
And I was like, when I
There you
get up in the morning, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna save the
Yes.
universe.
that's nice. That's
It's
nice.
amazing. And then I realized that's just putting too much pressure on you if you're gonna go into a corporate job. I can't save the universe. Let me save this account.
Yeah.
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 There, there was a time. There was a time my ringtone was tequila, and after a night of too much tequila, hearing that song to wake up is absolute shit, and it gets you in the mood to say that don't be an idiot anymore, because that's just too much idiocy that you've done in your life.
go.
I can
I
see
can't
it.
I can't even drink tequila anymore. I can't even smell tequila anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Because when I smell tequila, all the bad shit that's happened to me on tequila just comes rushing back, and I'm like, whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
Oh, no, okay, no, I can't.
No,
I
that's my
remember.
favorite. Every time they ask me to do karaoke, that's my song of choice.
Tequila.
Memorize the lyrics na.
Tequila,
Tequila.
Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da.
tequila.
Tequila.
Oh, see, so gold is on the feed now. Her alarm tone is "You shook me all night long."
Ah,
Nice.
classic.
Oh, nice.
And and
Ooh.
gold. For those of you who don't know, Gold, my wife, she can sleep through anything. So I think that song is for my enjoyment. So
Yeah,
I will wake up, I will enjoy the song, and then I will remember to wake her up because you have to shake
Ah.
her awake. She
Yeah.
she won't wake up for nothing.
You
Sometimes I
know what
let
they
the
say
song
about
go
that,
by.
bro?
Huh?
You know what they say about that? It's never put your favorite song as your alarm because then you'll end up hating the
You
bloody
are
song.
finishing it.
Woken up by that
That's
song
true.
every day.
That's
No, but,
true.
no, but you can appreciate. Was there okay? So I have a question from Go. Was there a moment when you first played together when you thought yawn? And what was that song you played?
yeah.
Your
That's
first.
yeah, for sure.
Wow, man. I think it's everything we've played.
Yeah, that's it.
Every
But
song.
What
what
was
was
the
the
first one? What was the first thing that you guys played when you got together?
Listen to
I
the
don't even
bottle.
think
Oh,
we
what's
had to
that?
play.
wow?
We just
What
had to
one?
get together. Then we're like, yo.
Yo,
You haven't even played that. You're just in the room and you want yawn.
dude,
Yeah,
the moment
exactly.
drums kicked in, we were like, yo.
Yo.
When you hit the yes, bitches, this is
But
your
everybody's on time. Yawn.
hey, man.
But
It's
every
really
song we've ever agreed to play, basically, yes, like that. It
Yeah.
was that kind of feeling. Every song.
yeah.
Well, we were stuck on 5 songs for a while until we committed to a 2-set gig. So one
we
of
had
those 5
we
songs was
pressured.
Lizard in the battle. But yeah, it was pretty easy, man. As soon as the pocket kicked in, bam. We were all
Yeah.
like,
Immigrant song when we did immigrant
easy
song.
yeah,
That
immigrant song.
song,
for sure. And it's
Shut
like,
Down in Flames, King Contrary Man.
Yeah.
Wow,
what,
man.
what's the
All
pocket
of it.
kicked in? And we were all like, yeah, we got something going on. That's all right. That's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
5 songs and no name. We got it.
It's
Yeah,
happening. It's
Yeah,
happening. It's all happening, man.
that's
yeah.
what.
My one regret though is that we're not able to get together to get originals. I mean, it would
Yeah,
be much easier if we got together, but
this
whatever.
was we're building up towards, and this was we were in the process of it of starting that,
Yep,
and then all this crap happened, and
yep.
then
All of
that
a sudden, bang.
sort of
Yeah.
steamrolled, and it's difficult for this band not to be together in a room.
Yeah,
Because
because I think
I think
I think it's
yeah,
very different. You guys are very different in terms of like you guys have to be in the same room and feed off each other.
yeah,
Because there are
that's
some
yeah,
people who have released full albums just
I know.
via email, and for that, I mean, hats off to them. But man, I can't work like that. It's
yeah.
just
No,
weird.
there's a different dynamic, and this band works together very well together, and it's
Yeah,
important to be together. And I think that it's not like it's not. I mean, if we had 20 albums, then yeah, you could maybe get it right
yeah.
online, but
Hmm.
not. It's very difficult, and
Well, I
we would need to be in the same room together to accomplish that, and that's been interrupted by all this nonsense, and that's hurtful in terms of
Yeah.
where we
Uh-huh.
are.
Yeah, but I mean, the one thing, one of the silver linings of this pandemic is that all the little things we used to take for granted, like, hey, you want to come out for a drink, or hey, you want to come over and have lunch, oh, you want to have some coffee, and you used to blow it off before.
Yeah, go hang out.
When this pandemic lifts, we're gonna be like, yeah, but I'm there. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah. No, it's gonna
I'm gonna
mean
bring. I'm gonna bring my goose. I'm gonna bring my goose. You know what I mean?
no, no.
There you
It's
go.
wrong. You're not wrong at all. So no, I can't wait. I mean, a big part of what I want to do on my list of things to do is to get in the studio and just rock, man.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how itchy I am to do that.
Yeah, live gigs. Live gigs.
So I
Absolutely.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
I think,
Live
and
gigs is life.
I know the problem is though
Fuck
in
yeah.
this group, I'm the danger, right? Because I go to work every day, so I'm the bad guy. I'm the loose end in this group.
No, if
Well,
we can set up a gig for you guys, then we just swab Tirso before he comes in.
yeah,
But
what's that?
that anal
The
Not
anal
the anal,
swab.
not the anal swab.
as
Please.
long as I can choose the swabber, huh? Not any indiscriminate swabber. I'm not saying no to the anal swab.
First you have to smell, then you taste. If you cannot smell, you have to taste.
But put it in your
And
ass.
think you have COVID.
If you can smell it, okay ka. Kung hindi,
That's the test. That's the friggin' test, man. God damn. Damn. We've unlocked
you
the
ain't deep.
secret.
You ain't deep enough. You ain't deep enough, man. Come on.
Wait, I don't feel anything. I don't
uh,
feel anything.
Yeah.
Where's the rubber tube?
Where's the rubber tube? Please. Well, guys, I mean, like,
more.
there is light at the end of the tunnel because I mean I've had a couple of gigs during this pandemic. Yeah, they're acoustic gigs. They're just two of us, and it also helps being a safety officer because basically I can manage all the safety protocols in the gig and from the microphone. Like I'm in the middle of like singing, our first set, and I'm telling people put your fucking mask back on in the middle of a song,
yeah,
and it actually is it's slowly coming back. We just have to, hold out a little bit longer, but there are ways to actually do it.
you know what?
And,
What I
I would
think,
love to have you guys do
What's
something live.
what's the rules around, say, doing an outdoor gig like in pods? Can you do that?
An outdoor gig in pods would be great, but it goes against the government
Yeah.
policy of the gathering of 10 people.
Yeah.
Public
So
gathering.
that's how
Yeah,
but
but the church does it anyway, which really bugs the
yeah, no,
fuck out of me.
the church does it anyway. And hey, guess what? We do it. I had 30 people at my last gig. 30 people. I was like, wow, 30 people. But that's because we were playing in a restaurant, guys.
Actually, like this coming Saturday is the 13th. It's my
Yes.
wife's birthday. I was thinking of bringing her to La Colina to watch Cookie because I think Cookie is
Yeah.
singing,
Yeah.
right? But the thing
Yeah.
is, the gig is being held indoors, and from that alone, we decided not to. If it's indoors, we ain't
Okay, so
doing it.
there's it's indoors, all right. So I've played in La Colina, right? So it's indoors. Their windows are open. They
Ah,
have
Mm.
electric fans to circulate. The aircon is still open, so it's a little cool, right? And you have electric
Not good.
fans to circulate. So the big windows are open, the big doors are open
Nice.
upstairs, and they manage the occupancy of people and also the distance between tables. I
I'm so
helped
glad they're
consult.
still open, man.
Yeah,
Me
I've
Yeah.
helped consult on their safety protocols, and really, I mean, if you're eating in in any establishment, you won't get a better socially distant meal than in La Colina because they have all that space. They have upstairs and downstairs. You can hear the music from
Huh?
downstairs,
19 East,
and
though, that place. It has to be open.
19 East, yes, it's
19th.
possible, but they don't have any windows.
I know, but they have the outdoor thing, which is great.
Yeah, we can set up outdoors. That's gonna be the best.
That's the way. No,
In
my
fact,
thing is, and
Zach, let me get my phone. Wowie, wowie.
Yep.
Let's set up
I
gig.
agree.
my,
You
my
know?
thing is, and I can't wait till they do it. That saliva test, if they can
Yeah.
Yeah.
get that the test time down to like 15 minutes, man. That would be ideal.
No, it's happening already. Most of the production outfits I'm working with now as a safety officer are transitioning to the saliva tests. It's got a 98% accuracy
Yeah,
rate
but it's
from
still
the pilot testing,
hour,
but
right?
it's expensive. No, no, dude. Even the antigen tests, you can get your results in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
but
thing
it's
is, it's expensive.
right.
The thing is, it's expensive. So if you're gonna invite people to come out and they're already, paying for food
Isn't
and drinks, if they have to
easy?
pay for a test, it's gonna be hard.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I think, and just getting off topic, if you're gonna find a way through the COVID, dude, if you can get a test like the saliva test, which is super easy to administer, takes 15 minutes, costs 50 pesos,
Yeah.
and you get a 99%, accurate rate or accuracy result. That's the way forward, dude. So before you enter the joint, bam, yeah, I'm good. Before you leave your house, boom, I'm good. And this is the way it needs to be. This is the only way the gigs are gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
vaccine, matagal pa yan. Puta,
But
we don't
no,
even know when
because-
we're gonna get it. So
Yeah, well, with the vaccine that's happening, 70% of the population has to get it.
Yeah.
And the
I
question
agree
is,
completely.
ayan,
you
pare.
know, how do we get access to it? Will
We don't-
everybody take it? Will
We don't even
that
know when we're gonna get it. There's no date. There's no arrival
I-
date.
Wala.
I'm actually worried about a rushed vaccine
Nagpa-practice pa lang.
because for me that's how zombie apocalypse happens. You know what I mean? I've seen this movie before. It's a rushed vaccine, but it's becoming a necessity now in terms of my work. Well, I mean, what's keeping me alive as a
No,
safety officer?
especially in the Philippines, right? I mean, people here don't know the value of social distancing. They don't know the idea of personal space to begin
There's
with.
no such thing here.
Because-
Philippines,
and tell me, whenever you go to grocery, don't you always see someone with their mask being worn around their
Oh,
chin
yeah.
or below their
Oh
nose?
yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous, pare.
if you talk about the
Sorry.
zombie apocalypse, the Philippines would be the worst.
Oh, tangina na, pare.
Metro
No,
Manila would be
actually,
the worst
India.
place
No,
to
actually, India's the worst. India's the worst.
Actually, yeah.
they're
Metro
fucked up, man.
Manila, second worst.
Yeah,
But
there
We'll be
you
the
go.
we'll be the second
I mean,
worst. But
fantastic, dude.
at least that's one way of bringing the gigs back, bringing
No,
the
but
music back, because it's so important. When I was I can just share this when I played in La Colina last Saturday, right? I was so gigil playing in front of people because I'm not playing in front of a webcam. I don't have a ring light. It's actual living, breathing human beings who are socially distant, who are wearing their masks when they're not having a drink or eating, and it's galeng. And what I didn't realize is that, of course I'm centered on how I feel because I'm me. But I realized Like there was this family there of older, like, Chinese Filipino Chinese people who I was a bit worried about, because when they're older, and when you start your set out with Backdoor Man, I'm like, these people are gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean? And I'm like, should I change the first song? No, fuck it. I'm gonna start out with Backdoor Man. And they stayed
Nice.
until the very last song. They paid their bill at the last song. When I said the last song, they had
Oh, that's cool.
they had their leftovers. They're gonna bring it home and all that. And I went up to them. I put my mask back on, and I'm like, hey, thank you so much for staying.
That's
And
right.
one of them actually said, "This is what we live for, because there's nothing else. We don't want a Netflix. We don't want to watch another series
It's
on
been a
our
year.
TV.
Exactly,
We
man.
want to see live, music." And I'm
Really,
like, man, if I could have
Promise.
hugged this person, I would have hugged this person, but of course I couldn't. But they
uh,
stayed,
what a
man.
moment.
Despite,
It-
yeah, what a moment. And despite me thinking, man, Backdoor Man, these old Chinese people are gonna leave, you know. And I didn't hold back either. I was like, bah, 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 in their face, and
You never,
they're
Why
Jamie,
like,
would
yeah,
you? Of course.
Jamie never holds back.
man. But it's something to look forward to. It's something to live for. And
Yes.
if you guys are really a cut to play, I can just imagine the first gig you
God,
guys are gonna have when you
I
come out.
can't. I can't wait. I
I mean, I
can't
can literally see, the roof literally exploding.
really, man.
When
And I think you know what? A lot of people are gonna have a lot of appreciation. I think a lot of people have learned to appreciate many different things
Oh
over
yeah.
this year. Being locked down, whatever. You appreciate things you probably didn't think you would appreciate as much as you have.
yeah,
And but
totally.
definitely getting in the studio with people, which is always still my favorite thing to do. I've not only appreciated that more, but I've missed it terribly, and I am suffering greatly. So I can't wait. I literally am counting the fucking days till I can get back in the studio and fucking rip out a fucking jam. Just
Oh, so
killing me, man.
so are we, man. So we can't wait either. I can't wait to hear what you guys are gonna come up with when you guys get together in the studio. That's gonna be fantastic. All right, it's time. It's time.
But I'll be back.
Okay. Okay. So I love how he announces it. And that's just so dear. So he even does that on stage.
Drum
Wait,
solo.
I have to pee.
I'm gonna take a piss. Drum solo.
Drum solo.
In my old band, the Wee Wee song was Mercedes Benz. Miguel had to
Yeah,
pee.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I remember
We had
that.
Mercedes Benz. Or Johnny.
So you had to stretch it out pa.
It's true. Usually you guys.
So when you sing Mercedes Benz at malayo yung banyo, you have to like, oh, so Lord, won't you ban? You have to
Won't
slow
you
it down a little
buy
bit
me a mercy?
kasi malayo yung banyo. Like if you're in 19 East, it's gonna take a full 5 minutes, man, just to get there.
Hobbit House days yun, so it's not so far.
Not
Hobbit
so
House
far.
isn't so bad.
Oh, lapit lang. You just have to push people out of the way.
Yeah.
I always felt bad. I always felt bad when we used to gig in Hobbit House. I forget how tall I am, right? I mean, I'm 6 foot, right? And then I coming back from the US, I got these like amazing like leather platform shoes to go with my leather pants. And I would always scold myself when I had a gig at Hobbit House and I absent-mindedly put on my platform shoes. And
Oh,
I'm in
Homa Hobbit man.
I'm in Hobbit House and I'm like, do you know, I had to sit down to order because they couldn't hear me from up there. And I would feel so bad. I'm like,
That
Jamie,
sounds like a really bad short joke, man.
I know, but Jamie, you're so bad. Why did you wear your platforms to your
Platform
gig?
shoes.
But yeah, most of the gigs happening now, they're small, they're intimate gigs, and it's actually a nice thing to see when I've had the good fortune to play 2 gigs, and you see people who are out there who just really, really want to be there. Like I'm saying, like that family that watched. I had other friends who came, and they're just like, wow, and they don't give a shit if you're talking too long or playing too long or Like I'm playing with Nino Mendoza, and there's another solo. You know what I mean? It's just people are just so happy to be there, and
Yep.
it's a different feeling. Like that appreciation now for things that you've taken for granted. When gigs come back, I think the most difficult thing is going to be managing the occupancy of the places because people are hungry.
Mm,
People want live music,
yeah.
and with
Everybody's gonna have a gig.
everybody's gonna have a gig, and we're all gonna do it in
Yeah.
the same night, and we're all
Well,
gonna like
it's
be
tough. It's tough for the venues too, right? I mean, like the fact that they will only allow maybe 40%, 50% at most
yeah,
occupancy. It's
that's
really tough for
tough.
them to make up that kind of the money for the evening, right? You have to
Yeah,
pay the
Parking's gonna be a
talent. You
fucking
have
bit.
to, yeah. Tough. You what?
Parking's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'll tell you
Oh,
that. When all this shit opens up and
yeah.
everybody going out to
No
the
fucking
gig,
problem.
parking's gonna be a pain in the ass, man.
see, okay, so that's how the venues can make their money back. Charge for parking.
Dude, if you have
Yeah.
parking, if you have a valet,
You can
Yun.
park at Miguel's house.
yeah,
Uh,
you have valet, parking makes his house, dude. Set.
Just don't piss
the-
off the neighbor, man. Just don't piss
Yeah.
off the neighbor who can't drive for shit.
you can't drive shit. Yeah.
You know what? I swear to God, when the guard told me, I should have said, sige, gisingin mo siya. Kausapin ko na yun. Alas 2 ng umaga, hayaan mo siya. Dude, that guard would have been so sabon. Would have been so fun.
Okay, before we get lost in this cuento again, I'm gonna do the rundown. All right, I'm gonna be asking you guys
Okay.
10 quick questions. And I modified these questions from the flow that I sent you. All right.
Right?
Okay.
So, okay, question number one:
Cheater.
amongst all of you, who takes the longest to set up?
Cowboy.
I was gonna say Miguel.
It's Cowboy.
Uh,
Between Cowboy and Miguel, I think.
Okay, so it's a toss up between
I'm a
Cowboy and Miguel.
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
number two: who is the most prepared for the gig?
Tracy.
No.
Tracy.
No.
There you go. See, Tracy. Yeah, there we go. You got 3 points.
There was a little bit of fear in my voice. Did you hear? Because I'm wearing
I don't think so because sometimes I forget the words. So
Well,
it's
but you
not-
have the list and you have the lyric.
This
You
is-
have the plan.
So,
You know.
so Tracy makes the set lists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tracy always makes a sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're
She
in
always
charge.
does that.
So you're in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so who gets question number 3, who gets basag first at the gig? I love it. I love it. 3 guys raised their hands and nobody's arguing. I love it.
I painted at a gig, so I'm gonna say it's worst experience.
Okay, so all right, next question. When they are basag, who is the hardest to manage in the band?
Yeah.
Next year's of paint. Then it's
Oh, tears off. Absolutely tears off.
Oh, it's Tirso. There you go. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I can't ask that because you've already. See, I'm reading down my list of questions. I'm like, oh, you've already answered that. Shit. Okay. So, what habit or behavior annoys the shit out of you in the band?
In the band.
Is there a habit or a behavior that annoys you within this band? Like, does somebody pick their toenails with their teeth?
I don't know.
I know that was so random.
The other way, pick their teeth with their toenails. Yeah.
Look,
Uh,
it's pretty easy. This is a hard one. This band's pretty easy. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Nothing,
band, no.
nothing yet. I don't.
But people who go when they eat, or
Yeah,
when
if
they
you open-
talk,
if you-
when they eat.
If you shoot your mouth open, that bugs the
Agree,
fuck
pal.
out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
You shoot your mouth open, bugs the fuck out of me, man.
this group's pretty good about stuff. So
See,
can't-
everybody's speaking up, and Cowboy's like, nothing bothers me. He's just so nice. And,
No, it's still
Or-
yeah.
or-
Really, it's all good.
just don't want to.
Too polite, motherfucker.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
second set Johnny. That would really bug the fuck out of me.
I love second set Johnny,
No,
especially
no,
with the
no, no,
No, we
no.
love him.
especially with the
No,
bowler
don't do
hat.
that shit. So, homie,
We
don't do
love
that no more,
him.
man.
No, I don't. I don't love him. I don't
No,
love
I
him.
don't. I don't either, man. Homie, don't do that no more.
Right, right. Okay, next
Johnny,
question.
Go.
less marijuana, more cocaine, pare.
Go, tayo The
Okay,
alcohol
next.
is the problem. Anyway, go next.
Alcohol is the problem. All right, so next question. If you guys could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would that be?
Wow.
Tony Iommi.
Good,
Tony
nice one.
is dead. No, he's not.
That's fucking.
No,
He's the riff
He's alive.
master, and he would let me lay down the drums. Boom chak, boom chak. Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Miguel's Tony Iommi. Trissy, who would you collaborate with?
I was thinking Jimmy Page, but I don't think he'll like me. I think he's maanga, so it will be hard.
That was gonna be my answer also.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll like me. So I don't know.
No, Trissy, all you gotta do is pull out the rubber hose.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
He'd be all over that.
Jimmy, come here.
Be all over that. For sure.
Tirso, who would yours be?
Malcolm Young. Because
Ooh.
Oh hell yeah.
Malcolm Young, motherfucker.
Wow.
You tell you,
Man.
fuck that shit don't rock. Fuck you, this rock. Because Malcolm Young know his shit, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the place.
Malcolm
Johnny, Johnny, say
Wow. Honestly, I would love to see how things would have turned out between Manny and me again.
Mm.
Let's see.
I miss.
Oh, Manny.
I'll drink
we,
to
we,
that.
we had, we
I'll
had
drink to
moments.
that, Manny
you know,
Amador.
we had moments, and
Yes, man.
and actually before he passed away, he was actually more compliant with the rest of the band. So I
That's a
kind of
big
wonder how it would have turned out.
that's a big one for Manny.
Yeah, man.
Being
Yes, dude.
compliant.
Fuck yeah, I agree. Tangina.
No, I've always liked Manny. Manny and I had a disagreement over his reproductive health views.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We,
Oh,
we
yeah.
differed greatly on that, and I mean so much so that I was like, I really got into it with him, and this is, and just to go a little bit off on a tangent, and I think this, I mean, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's quite relevant to the conversations that we're all having today in almost every aspect of life. I didn't agree with Manny 100%. In fact, I was 180 degrees away
Hmm.
from everything Manny said. I was the
I can
exact
relate.
opposite of he wanted. He was totally anti-birth control. I am totally for it, right? And
Absolutely, yeah.
we butted heads a lot, and on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And at some point, I realized, and I told him, I go, Manny, I just realized, man, I have as much chance of changing your mind as you have of changing mine, which is zero. So I go, bro, we just have to accept that this is it. That
Yeah,
we cannot move
agree.
from this.
Yeah, agree to
Agree
disagree.
to disagree.
Yeah.
And I think in the general conversations that we have been having over the last several years, this year mostly, of a lot of, that's something people need to remember. It's okay to do that.
Yes.
You need to be okay to agree to disagree. Man, some people believe one thing and you believe the exact opposite. It's not wrong, it's just different.
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
have
And it's okay to be different.
it's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. And that was my last interaction with Manny. I unfollowed him, which I'm not ashamed of. I didn't unfriend him. I just unfollowed
I
him.
followed him.
I
I did too, man. I mean, Manny was
know.
my friend since I knew Manny since what 1982.
Yeah.
And yeah, I end up unfollowing him too, man.
No, but what are you gonna
But
do, right? I
No, but
mean,
it's good. It's good. Yeah, that's one thing that we have to remember. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have a different
it's
opinion.
okay
It's okay to disagree to disagree.
disagree. Yeah, just
mm.
but
And ladies
Manny
and
was
gentlemen, I
always
think that's the most mature statement that I've ever heard Tears of the Paul utter in all the years I have
wait.
known
My
him.
wife's not watching. Can you fucking wake her up? She needs to see this shit. Anyway, no, but and not for anything, and I love Manny, and Manny was always very classy, and he was very
Yeah.
classy
Hmm.
about how he handled all of this stuff. So it wasn't like he was some DDS like freaking out, whatever. It
No,
wasn't
he was
like
he was intelligent. His
he
his
was
arguments were
intelligent.
very
He
intelligent, were
was
very
he was
passionate,
dude.
and
He was
very
passionate,
informed.
but he was very informed. He was very educated, very intelligent, and he
Just on the other side of the fence.
yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with being on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, it's
As
okay.
long as you make a good argument and it's
Yeah,
logical and stuff, and which he did.
yeah.
I
he
just
did.
didn't
Yeah.
agree. I just
Yeah.
didn't agree with it, and for the life of me, I would never agree with it. So it was a weird situation, but it is what it is. And I think people today, and there's a lot of that going around now, and I think people need to understand that it's okay, man. Not everybody, and
I
just
think
because people don't think like you doesn't make them bad people, man.
I think people need to
Kaya
lighten
si
the fuck up.
2022, iboto si Tirso Ripol.
Hey!
Presidente.
Okay, guys.
My
Okay,
wife's here. My
okay,
wife's here.
guys.
Say hello.
Hi.
Chill, babe.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, Marlette.
Hey, hello.
Advance happy birthday.
Birthday.
Ooh.
Advance happy birthday, though.
Oh, thank
Advance
you.
happy birthday.
Hi, Willette. Happy birthday.
Okay, guys. One for
Thank
the road.
you.
One for the road. All right. One for
Oh,
the road.
okay, okay.
What words of wisdom or advice would you give to any artist just starting
Wala
out
ka
in
na,
music?
cowboy.
Tangin na. Who first?
Let's have Cowboy first because he spoke in the least.
What words of
And
advice?
Tirso, try not to interrupt him, okay?
Don't fucking do it, man.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You'll be sorry.
It's gonna lead to a life
It'll
of
ruin your
hardship.
life. You think the pandemic ruined your life? The day you decided to become a musician did.
Fuck you, baby.
Fuck
Oh
that.
my god.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
it,
So
man.
that's is that universal? Is that
I know,
sentiment?
No, no, I
Or-
mean like no, seriously, yeah, it's
Seriously,
the best thing
Cowboy.
that I ever decided to do. And I hope everybody gets to discover their own musicality and learn how to play an instrument and discover a deeper part of themselves and to be able to express that, to be able to relate that to people.
Hmm.
That's what music is. It's humanity expressing itself. So yeah, it's absolutely stick with it, man. It's gonna be great. It'll be hard, but that's what makes it great.
Yeah, I totally agree. Damn, Cowboy doesn't like say much, but when he does, fuck. That's amazing.
Now,
That's
that makes him so attractive, puta.
yeah, he just became
Cowboy ka.
Puta, pogi
more
in looks and
pogi,
in words.
pare.
Kono.
Pumunta ka nga sa Pilipinas, sabihin mo yan.
Okay, Johnny, any words of wisdom or advice for any artist?
I agree with Cowboy in that music makes you a more well-rounded person. Diba? If you have you do your homeworks, you dot your T's in you dash your T's, you dot your I's in school, and music will actually help round you out. But I think the best advice I could give is don't quit your day job.
Mm. Because
you know, you gotta-
you need
especially-
something to support your music.
I mean, fuck yeah. I mean, look what's happening now. How many musicians are out there that completely fucking jobless, who have absolutely nothing to fall back on,
Yeah.
right? So don't find something that works, and then support your art with it. I think That's very practical advice. Of
Yeah.
course, a lot of guys really feel that art should be your be all and end all. And I wish in an ideal world, I suppose that would work. But in the world we're living now, maybe not.
Okay. That's great advice. That's great practical advice, Johnny. Miguel, any advice? Any words of wisdom?
I would say follow your passion, dude. Follow your passion. What you love, do it. Um, whether it be drumming, playing music, scuba diving, follow that. Follow that. Do it. Because if you don't do what you love, you're gonna fucking hate your life. And
Hmm.
if you're gonna hate your life, you're gonna want to hang yourself, and that's no good. So do what you love.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Tracy.
I guess aside from all of the stuff that the guy said, find a group of people you really like to hang out with and you'd like to work with, because there's magic that will happen when you're playing
Hmm.
together, and it's even more amazing if it's actually with people you like. So find
Always.
that team and tell them to practice. If they suck and you really like them, just tell them to practice some more.
I second the
Try,
motion with regards to marrying the person you love.
Oh,
Yes.
and practice with guys who are not afraid to tell you you suck.
I
yeah,
applaud your
Yeah.
stance.
totally.
Okay, Tirso. Tirso.
Okay,
Ala.
I am
Hala,
gonna.
hala, mahaba to, mahaba to. Sige.
Everybody here said exactly what I wanted to say, but they all said it separately. In the end, I think it's to put it succinctly, is what I've always believed. Do what you love, because that is definitely what you need to do. Do it. Um, if you are fortunate enough to be able to make a living off it, then by
There you go.
tangina, suerte mo, fucking rock it out,
Yeah.
and more power to you. If it ain't paying all the bills, then obviously you gotta pay the bills. But don't stop doing it. Keep doing it. Never lose that thing that you love. And if you're lucky enough, first of all, if you're lucky enough to find that thing that you love, because a lot of people don't, if you're able to find that thing that is you and that what you are, don't ever suppress it. Do it, embrace it. If you can't monetize it, don't fucking worry about it. Get a fucking job, man. There's a way to make this shit work for you, but never stop doing it. I mean, okay, you won't be able to do it 24/7. Maybe you'll do it 6 out of 24. You know what I mean? 24/6 or whatever, man. 6 hours out of the day, four
Yeah.
hours out of the day, twice a week, whatever the fuck it is.
Do
If
it.
you know what it is you love to do, always fucking do it.
Yeah.
Make it work for you. If you gotta pay the bills, fucking pay the bills. You gotta fucking pay the bills because you can't not make that
You
work.
find a
You
way.
gotta do that too.
Never
But
find a
never
way.
ever, never ever ever forget yourself. So I think it's just, and this is what I love about this group. It's everything they've said. I'm just saying what they've all said, but you know, in a different way. Just, you know, if you're lucky enough to find what you love to do, do it. But your life needs to work, and you
Yes.
need to be able to fucking survive.
Yeah.
So, but don't just survive. You have to live. And
Mm.
going
That's
through
important.
life doing shit you don't like and not being able to do to and
That's not
not
living.
being able to do the things you love to do, that's not living. That's
Yeah.
just surviving, and that's
Yeah.
shitty. You have to live. So there's a balance, and it can be found. It can happen. You just have to make it work. And I think a lot of people, and you'd be surprised, But a lot of people are doing that, and a lot of people can and have made that happen. And I think you can do that. All right. But you just have to find what works for you. But don't ever give up on yourself, and don't ever give up on what you love, because life ain't worth living if you don't fucking love it, man. So you've always got to have that.
Yeah.
Nakamputa!
Amen,
Dude, we're
brother.
like a bunch of
Amen.
emotional support
Amen!
musicians, man.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Basically.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up. Miguel, Tracy, Tirso,
Ayan,
Johnny,
cowboy ba?
Cowboy. Thank you so much for taking the time out and sharing your, your wisdom, your crazy stories, and your time. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
Thank you,
This is
man.
Pig Dog, man. I love you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jamie.
Thank
Salamat,
you.
Wilson!
I love you guys.
I
Ay
love
na,
you,
walang
man.
tama yung buns mo!
Wait,
Liquor.ph, thank you.
wait for it. Wait for it. Thank you,
Wait
Pig
for it.
Dog.
Thanks, guys.
Woo.
Good night,
Love
everyone.
y'all. See
Good
you
night,
soon,
guys.
man.
Love you.
All
Good night,
right, ladies,
everyone.
ladies and gentlemen, that was Pig Dog, and these guys, seasoned veterans, amazing musicians, and as we just heard, amazing people as well. And I cannot be more thankful for the time they spent with us tonight. We're clocking in at 2 hours, so let me speed right through. Ladies and gentlemen, from Offshore Music, Eliza Marie just released a new single called Why Can't I Just Love Like No One, with a new music video too. It is out. Check out their YouTube page and their Facebook page. And hey, just tonight, freshly released, Suspiria Pink just released a new song called High, and just released a new music video along with it. And if you catch that video, you might see me as well. And hey, check out their YouTube channel and also the Facebook page. Now, Offshore will also be releasing the Apartel Full Flood album on vinyl. It's a 2 LP half speed mastering by Miles Showell from Abbey Road. Now, if you guys don't know Abbey Road, I don't know, have you been living under a rock? This guy has worked with artists such as Queen, the Rolling Stones, and of course the Beatles. It will be available on February 22. Check out the Offshore Music page because they have just released a list of record store partners who are official resellers, and you can pre-order your copy there. And of course, keep on streaming June Lupito's new album, Body 3 NMRK. It's a classic piece of work from a Pinoy rock icon. Now, this February, Liquor.ph is going to do you a solid. Whether you're getting ready for Chinese New Year or Valentine's Day celebrations, Liquor.ph has got you covered with special discounts on the mythical Johnny Walker Blue Chinese Zodiac series, the crowd favorite Aberlour Abonade, and an abundance of curious craft gins. Now is the best time to load up. Visit Liquor.ph for a good time this February. Guys, thank you so much for my black heart. Arr! Yes, it's spiced rum, baby. And I love me a good spiced rum. I'd also like to thank, of course, Buenos dias, Panaderia. Thank you so much for sending me another box of happiness. It's time. These guys, they will write down like personalized cards every time they deliver to me. And I am amassing a whole wall of their lovely little handwritten notes because Nat and their Milo buns just make me happy. And in this day and age, you need every little bit of happiness that you can get. Thank you also so much to the Misty Mountain Cafe, care of Nina Mendoza. Thank you for your kilos of Cordillera Gold. This is really awesome coffee, and it's a really great pairing between the Milo buns and a Cordillera Gold cup of coffee, and that's amazing. So happy Valentine's Day weekend to everybody. Be sure to follow all the safety protocols when you check into the motels. Be safe, always be safe. And in the immortal words of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Now, next week, we have a band from Cagayan de Oro who is making waves in the charts. Offshore artist Sulo will be on the show. And we will also be hanging out with an amazing artist whose love for music is integral to his creations. I am talking about the famous photographer to the stars, Raymond Isaac. So tune in next week for another episode of On the Rocks here on the Offshore Music page. This is your host, Jamie Wilson, reminding you to stay safe, stay strong, and stay sane. Keep on rocking and keep on rolling. And if all else fails, let the music keep you going. And if life has gotten you shaken or stirred, a little mixed up or on the rocks, what matters most is that you take your shot. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers and good night.